This is the Sunshine Cathedral perspective. We're in the gayest place on earth, but how can you be gay in rural America?
Let's talk about gay Georgia. It's actually a city in the deep South.
South Florida is probably the gayest place on earth. It may be easy to be queer at places like Sunshine Cathedral and on our gay island, Wilton Manors, but what about other places, more rural places?
We are talking to you, Pussy Creek, Ohio.
What happens to them, and especially to their queer faith? In the 1970s, after the Stonewall riots, a gay phenomenon began called queer flight. LGBTQ plus community began to move from rural America to urban centers, including New York, Chicago, Dallas, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Miami.
We are talking about you, Gayville, South Dakota.
But everyone couldn't, and for many reasons. However, polls showed an estimated 3 to 4 million LGBTQ plus people live in rural America. Polls show also that LGBTQ plus people are much more vulnerable to discrimination, hate, and rejection due to the social and political landscape.
We are talking about you, Gay Hill, Texas.
According to the MAP report, queer communities in rural regions have far less access to LGBTQ plus specific resources. Only 11% of adults in rural areas have access to an LGBTQ health center, compared to 57% in rural areas.
We are talking about you, Fort Gay, West Virginia.
When it comes to senior services, only 10% of adults have access to LGBTQ plus senior services in rural regions. There is also an urban-rural divide when it comes to the school climate for LGBTQ youth.
We're talking about you, Gay Mill, Wisconsin.
And where is God and faith in this conversation? Surveys show urban areas have a tenfold opportunity to worship in gay-affirming churches as opposed to rural America. Does this mean God is not present there?
We are talking about you, Faggot Hill, Massachusetts.
Hence, it is important to find a way to navigate through an environment to be able to live authentically. Mental health matters as much as physical safety, and through the Queer God Squad, we strive to help you feel seen and included.
We are talking about you, Gayville, New York.
We can't forget those that don't have the access we have at Sunshine Cathedral or in urban places like Fort Lauderdale. How can the faith community and then the urban LGBTQ plus community help our rural LGBTQ plus communities? I have lived in towns as small as 10,000, and I have lived in cities as big as 8 million. And my struggle has been pretty similar in all of those places. I think our county here, and in South Florida, counties make up more than cities do. But anyway, our county is about 2 million people. I think maybe our actual town is about 200,000 people. So all levels of all sizes. And what has made the difference, whether I'm on the Upper West Side of New York City, or I'm in the New Jersey suburbs, or I'm in a beach town in Florida, is community. Mm-hmm. Having people to share the journey with, having people to hear me, having people to see me, having people to care. That's the thing. If you have community, if you're not isolated, and so that's why we do what we do, to bring community to people. You maybe not can get here, and you may not have access to similar community where you are, but if you have internet access, then you're going to have some people on your side for sure, because we're trying to come to you if you can't come to us. So we want to bring a positive and inclusive and empowering faith experience to as many people as possible. And yeah, you may live in Two Mules, Kansas, or Pig Scrotum, Missouri, or whatever. But I bet you got internet. Or I bet you know where you can get internet. The McDonald's probably has internet or something. And so get there and find us online and find other communities online. Find communities on Reddit, find communities on Instagram, find communities on Facebook, find us at sunshinecathedral.org. Find the programming from Happening Out Television Network, because we can come to you that way, and you can be part of a global community, a global fellowship. You don't have to be alone. And when you're not alone, that's when you're reminded of your sacred value. That's when you're reminded of your resilience. That's when you're reminded that you are so much more and so much better than you used to believe. And so the Apostle Paul used to say, or did say, faith comes by hearing. If you felt bad about yourself, it's because somebody told you over and over, you're no good. Well, guess what? The way you can feel good about yourself is hearing over and over and over, you are God's miracle and not God's mistake. So we're trying to tell you that. Get online, tell your friends about it, because we can actually form community. We are no longer limited by four walls or a parking lot. We are a global community, and you're welcome to it. Let's be part of it. Let's support each other. And that's how we're going to get through these trials and tribulations of life.
You know, I had a flat tire at that Gayville Baptist church when I was traveling on the road once.
You did not.
I had a flat tire.
Oh my goodness.
When that popped, I'm like, I know exactly where that is. And I would just echo what Darrell said. Find it. Find us. Find something that will give you that outlet to not lead you into places that think you are alone or you're isolated. The internet is there, the way to tap into resources that can help. Or even if you just need a place to be encouraged, sunshinecathedral.org. You know, find us. Find places that will continue to inspire you and give you hope.
That was my message also. sunshinecathedral.org. You go there and that opens up a whole new world to you. That is why we consider that we have a global fellowship that almost 10 million or a little more than 10 million people came to last year. A global fellowship that offers midday prayers Mondays through Saturdays. A global fellowship that streams live our service 10:30 a.m. Eastern every single Sunday. And it is thanks to that worldwide ability that we have that we can tell you time and time again, you are not alone. So please, sunshinecathedral.org, and from there, go everywhere you want to go.
When we were kids, back shortly after the earth cooled, we couldn't, I remember there was a movie called Making Love. And that movie was my introduction. It's like, oh, there's more out. Like, it's not just me. Well, you don't have to wait for movies. You don't have to wait anymore. You don't have to sneak into movies or stumble over a magazine at the 7-Eleven or find a book in the library. Because you could find books in the library about any topic. And you're not limited anymore because of the internet. So yeah, become part of an online community or more than one. And because in communities where we find our strength, and that's where we are reminded, there's safety in numbers, and those numbers no longer have to be under one roof. So we're here for you. Next up, we are excited to tell you about our next adventure with our global fellowship. In 2024, we'll be going where the hills are alive as we explore Austria and Alpine Europe for Gay Oktoberfest. Space is extremely limited, so make sure to go to happeningout.travel/sunshine to reserve your space. That's happeningout.travel/sunshine. Robert and I are going to be there. Reverend Kevin's going to be there. You will 100% want to be there.